Welcome back to the Renaissance Humanism podcast. Today's episode, I will be discussing about the truth about relationships and the human ego. The sad truth about the human condition, or maybe it is our glory, what it means to be human, is that we all write our own internal stories to justify our existence in our place in the world. We're all our own heroes or our own heroines. We do this to protect our own ego and to justify our own existence, because part of the human condition is that we are aware of our own mortality, we're aware of our own place in the world, and we are aware that at some point in the future, our lives will eventually end, either by natural means of old age or due to some kind of illness. The human condition is a complex, and relationships need to be built in order to offer us utility. This is part of the human condition. We don't like to talk about this, but what this means in practical use is that as humans, we don't like to see our relationships in terms of need. In every relationship, whether it be friendship, sexual relationship, or other kinds of dyads, there is a requirement by an exchange of needs and wants to be fulfilled in order for relationships to be successful. If a mother, for example, never loves a child or vice versa, a need is not being fulfilled, which can lead to other issues in later life. With human attachments, we often develop issues of bonding, forming relationships due to traumatic experiences when we are children, with the average child, on average, spending 35 minutes of quality time with their primary caregivers. That can be a nanny, a grandmother, or other carers, not the child's parents or relationship similar to a parent. Is not guaranteed to provide the love and affection a child needs, because of putting your child in daycare, putting them with other care providers, even with its own family, if they have other children to look after as well, they might not see your child as the commitment. So they might not be giving your child, the love and affection they require. I know this from myself, from my own personal experience, because for me, when I was growing up, I would spend time with my grandparents and my auntie, and when they had children as well, my auntie, I became more of like a inconvenience, just because priorities change and priorities shift. Same with like we don't like to admit this, but all parents or all people with children, they all have their favourites, and they all have different needs and requirements. And if you're not meeting your child's need at a certain age during their development, as they get older, they can have deficiencies, which is not necessarily it's not due to the child's fault. It's just to the nature of how they've been cared and looked after. Um, in that case, it often interpreted as like certain acts of pair bonding, of developing bonds. These in like mature relationships, such as sexual activity. We can see it as a means of pair bonding. But in reality, it takes about 2 years for individuals to truly understand each other, to get to know each other, because when you meet somebody for the first time, you sort of glorify them. You have expectations, they're not built on reality. And for a woman, the right thing if she sleeps with a man as sexual intercourse, that actually will lead to a solid pair bond. And that's not how relationships work, particularly sexual relationships and pair bonding with men. A man that is securely attached won't fall in love with a woman straight away, because it's not in their nature, it's not how men are wired. If that does happen, it can mean that man has some sort of deficiency or lack of love shown as a child, or has some other kinds of issues. There's no one size fits all solution or reason for this, but normally, if you want a successful pair bond for a male, sexual intercourse, if they are securely attached, does not happen straight away. It happens over a period of months or maybe even years, just because it just shows that it's a healthy attachment. There's nothing wrong with falling in love slowly, and also that you can never say that I will fall in love with this person, I will have this relationship with this person straight away. It's something that happens over time. But if it is not happening at all, if you feel no sort of emotional connection, the feeling of love, then most likely this relationship is not something that should be continued. Um, I think that covers pretty much everything today on this podcast episode. If you have any questions, please message me on Substack, on Medium, or in any comment section. Thanks for your time and thank you for listening to this podcast episode. I hope you found it useful and informative. And finally, peace out.